Hello and welcome back. Happy New Year to you. Hope you all had a lovely, restful, festive period. Since it's a new year, I thought I'd do a little mini reintroduction. Hi, I'm Sam and welcome to our smallholding here up in Northwest Wales. For those of you who are new, we've moved here in June of 2022, so we've just come into the end of our first full year here, and I thought I'd do a little roundup and chat about our plans for 24. We are very much a work in progress here. We're building things up as we go, so hopefully if you want to come along for the journey, you are more than welcome, and I'll show you what we've got going on. So the sun is literally just going down over there. It is first week in January and I'm out here in just a jumper. It has been weirdly warm, but with that warm has come a boatload of wet, so I'd imagine if you're in the UK it's similar for you. It has been really wet and we got a lot of puddles. So behind me is our veggie patch. We grew our first season's worth on our new no-dig beds this year. And we still got a load of stuff out there. If you've not been here before, I've said before, we're really coastal, so we don't get a lot of frost. We've had one frosty day this year, that was back in early December. And then since then, as I say, it's been nice and warm. We've still got salad greens and things growing out here, spinach, lettuce, things like that. The onions went in back in October, November, so they're overwintering out here. We're still going through brassicas, still eating broccoli and cabbage and Brussels sprouts. The frost did end most things, but some things did survive still, so we've still actually got flowers out here. Let me show you. It's January. My calendulas are still in flower. Well, that's how warm it is. We've got caterpillars in January on my calendula. So one of my big focuses at the moment in the early part of this year is the food forest. I talked about this a lot in the winter last year because that's when I got the time to sort of be doing all of that perennial stuff and big long-term plan stuff, and then the season kicks in and the annual garden takes my attention, which will probably happen again this year. So I want to use this bit now where there's not a lot going on in there to make all my plans for the food forest. Well, the chickens have seen me here and now they're going to start escaping. I'll talk more about my plans for the veggie garden, the annual veggie garden, when the time comes. I'm not there yet. I'm not starting anything for the foreseeable future. All of my attention is going on sort of land projects that we can get done and food forest planning. Now, what I got for Christmas, I'm very, very excited about this. One moment. Is this book. It's Creating a Forest Garden, Working with Nature to Grow Edible Crops by Martin Crawford, who I've spoken about at Agroforestry Research Trust before. It's where I got a lot of my fruit trees, it's where I get a lot of my information. I asked for this book for Christmas and I've got it and I am devouring it. Because there's loads of information out there on like permaculture and food forest and things like that, but a lot of it is American and Australian, and while all of the principles are just as valid, it all makes sense. Sometimes it's really helpful to have a UK source of information, some direct examples that you can really sort of understand. This has been really helpful with like the really specific information on British growing native edible foods. So I'm going to be putting a lot of this book into action over the next few months and I'm very excited about it. Let's go take a look down there. I'm getting there with mulching my trees. I got some bricks on free cycle. People get rid of their stuff they don't want anymore and someone comes and collects it for free. Everyone's a winner. I put those bricks up and I'm just using those to edge the trees. Hey girls! Hi team! I haven't got anything for you. I'm very sorry. Can you come in? I'm being mobbed. Okay. So this field here is one day going to be my food forest. As you can see, we've got the chickens in here. We're trying to move their pen around because they are destruction for grass and anything else, which is good. I'm more than happy for them to kill off grass here, but we're just moving them around to keep it fresh. And so that they can do their magic in different areas. So in the daytimes, I'm just being followed. In the daytimes, these girls are free in this field to do whatever they want, which apparently is just follow me around. But if we're not here, then they go in the run, basically. All the time I'm out on the land, they can just be free ranging. Anywho, so it's middle of winter, so all of the trees just look like twigs in the ground right now. They went in a year ago. Some of them have done better than others. And I'm in that tricky bit now where basically I've got fruit trees in here, but they're not established enough for there to be a sort of understory. I'm going to rewind, briefly explain what I mean by food forest. The idea of a food forest is that we're sort of mimicking a young woodland in the way that everything interacts, all the plants interact and support one another and make sort of a really long-term solution, except rather than just any old trees that grow, we're focusing on usually edible things, but a lot of the time other useful things. Basically building a system of those things so that they work together in a way that means it can be a lot more hands-off and you have a lot more perennial sources of food and other useful things. So these here are my Welsh onions. They are beautifully established, and I will definitely be digging those up and dividing them come spring. You're just pecking my feet. I can't stop walking, otherwise I just get my feet pecked. So basically, my plans for out here this year is to plant a load more stuff. I think my problem I've got out here, I get bogged down by the fact that there's so much grass out here, and that's kind of hard to do anything around. Anything you plant out here, if you're not on it all the time, it just gets mobbed by grass. But I think realistically, in order to win, I need to just cultivate a lot more of it with other things. I need other ground covers. I just need to start accepting the grass as part of it. It's going to be a long time before these trees are grown enough, before I have enough leaf fall off of these trees to create that kind of environment. I just have to accept that. So here you can see what I've started. This is cardboard layer. This is basically a new no-dig bed. We've got a layer of cardboard and then a big thick layer of mulch. A lot of this has come out of the chicken area, and we throw a load of scraps in there from the garden and things, and once it's all broken down it creates a bit of a sludge mound. So I'm basically layering that on these beds here. My goal with these is to build up like a herb spiral kind of idea. So that way south, that way is north. The idea being that if you create some different heights in here in a spiral, you can put the things up high that want less moisture, down low that want more moisture, facing the sun that want more sun, and on the north side if they want less sun. So that's my goal here, and I'd like to have some perennial herbs growing out here. And I think for the other one that I've started, that my plan for that, it's going to be a mixture of the Welsh onions that I'm going to dig, that I'm going to divide out of the patch that's already here, and some strawberries, and I'm going to sort of try and protect my strawberries from being eaten by other things by interplanting them with some perennial onions, and we'll see how that goes. So I've got loads of plans out here. I'm also very much planning to put a pond out here this year, at least one, even if it's small. A pond is going in this food forest. So this hopefully, well, now it looks like a big field with a few young trees in it and one or two little beds with some bits and bobs. It's going to transform a lot this year. This is where my attention is going to be for the next few months, while we try and take this from field with some fruit trees to establishing a food forest, and I'm very excited about it. See if I can get out of here without releasing the beasts. Once they get over me, you can see that they're all just foraging around. Oh no, they've seen me stop. Carry on, just keep walking. So also amongst my plans this year, I've mentioned it already, I plan to get geese. I've started a few conversations about that, so hopefully that's in the works and that should be happening. And we'll be running those along the fruit trees to help me out with the grass. Now where I'm putting those beds in there, I realise that they're just going to get torn up by chickens and sat on by geese. I will be doing sort of a little fenced. My plan is to do a sort of little fenced area. In my mind, I'm hoping for like a willow fedge, like a living. We'll come back to that. We'll see how that goes. I'll just block it off however I need to for now. Now with that, we've just got loads of maintenance stuff to do. You can see we've got the outbuildings falling apart a little bit. So now here in the winter, we are going to try and get this fixed up a little bit, because there are some holes in this here building, so we need to not get too excited by new outdoor projects and make sure that we don't let our buildings fall down. So that is just a little snippet of things I've got planned for the land here. If you would like to come along and see how well I do at that, then you are more than welcome. Please do subscribe. Outside of the actual land here, I've decided, and I'm saying it here for accountability, I am going to fish. Now, I know absolutely nothing about fishing. I've never fished in my life, but 2024 is the year. I don't want to say I'm going to catch a fish because, as I say, I know nothing about fishing, and maybe I won't. But I will become a fisherwoman, fisher person. I'm going to fish. Obviously, it ties in a lot with all the growing our own food things, but also where I live, I'm absolutely surrounded by the sea. I'm gonna put some pictures here super quick about showing you just the beaches that are within like a 15-minute drive or walk of where I live. For most of the year, I mean, we live in quite a touristy area, not hyper local, but the area itself. So come summer, you know, on the main beaches, there's people around. But for most of the time, there's no one here at all. And even in the high season now, we can always find a place where you can be, and there's no one. And I'm quite an antisocial kind of gal. So I figure that's a good way to be outside, be being productive, and find myself, hopefully, something I can eat. I like fish. As I say, I know nothing about it, except for sort of 20 minutes of Googling while I couldn't sleep the other night, and I thought I would learn everything there is to know about fishing, obviously. That's taught me that I obviously don't know everything I need to know, but I would like to, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to just get started and progress that over the year. So if anybody has any helpful resources on getting started in fishing, if you're an absolute novice, then send them my way, please. I'm just staying out here because how gorgeous is that? I thought I was done, but now I don't want to go back inside. I'm making the most of it because it's going to be grey and horrible again tomorrow. Well, I'm actually going to leave it there. Thank you very much. I'll leave you with my beautiful sunset behind my lovely stables. Until next time. Cheers, guys.